Joining me now, we've got Vanessa Williamson, Urban-Brookings Tax Policy Center Senior Fellow. Great to have you here with us. There are some growing concerns here about what information the IRS has access to, especially with the new Department of Government Efficiency pressing the IRS for information on tax returns. So, Vanessa, how does the IRS use filers' information, and what does DOGE actually have access to?
That's a great question. I mean, one of the things to know is that this is actually an open question, which is itself already a big issue for democratic accountability. We've seen real problems that within the Treasury more broadly, that DOGE hasn't always been forthcoming about what kind of data they're seeking and what they have access to. So DOGE tried to get access to individual level taxpayer data. This is the real gold standard stuff that researchers don't even get to touch. It's a very, very carefully protected, for good reason, to protect taxpayers across the country. They were trying to get access to that personal data. As of now, that seems to have been stopped, so they only have access to anonymized data, which is a big protection for American taxpayers.
Certainly. Okay, and so what do filers need to know about this government agency, the IRS, using artificial intelligence?
So artificial intelligence is really still in the future. There's a lot of talk about this, and there's not been so much action. The really big action at IRS in terms of computers, technology, and modernization happened a few years ago after the passage of the Inflation Reduction Act in 2022. And that was where the IRS got a big boost in its budget so it could finally update its computers. Until that point, people don't believe this when I say it, but they were using computers and technology that dated to the Kennedy administration, right? They were using computer programs that they had to find old guys in retirement to come back in and make work, because no young person even learns those methods anymore. So there was a huge investment in modernization, and that's been really paying dividends. And the only question is whether that's going to continue.
My goodness, where were you when for some of that technology? Not even a thought yet. But as we all consider and look back on last year, late last year, the Tax Policy Center released an analysis, and this analysis showed that President Trump's tariffs would increase household taxes and lower average after-tax incomes. Now that tariffs have officially been enacted, they're out there, they're kicking around right now. What impact in the future could taxpayers see?
Well, the thing about tariffs is they're basically a tax on consumers, right? They're built into the price, right? Because when businesses have to pay more to import things, then they raise that price so that they can make their money, right? So what it'll be is you'll see higher prices. We already have an inflation problem in this country. This will increase that problem. But the other thing that's happening right now is instability. Right? We all know that tariffs raise prices, but one of the things that's happening right now, which is very unusual, is that tariffs are being proposed or threatened and then suddenly drawn back. So there's a lot of instability. It starts to look a little bit like a rug pull, which is not how you would like economic policy to be run. So the problem with instability is that you get businesses and people holding back on making investments because they don't know exactly what economy they're working with. And when that happens, you see a slowdown. So what I would expect is both the potential for higher prices and a decline in growth.
Are we anticipating that there will still be protections in place for some of the free file programs that have been implemented, and how will that be insulated?
So one of the really great innovations, I mentioned earlier, the modernization of the IRS, one of the things that was an out of the park win, and it is not that often you get to say that when you study government action, a real out of the park win was direct file. This was the IRS's very long promised effort to offer free public tax preparation. So if you go to directfile.irs.gov, people in 25 states, 30 million people can file their taxes for free this year directly with the IRS, no middleman. And the program was piloted last year. It got rave reviews from users. It works with all the state systems, so you can file your state taxes too. And it's a huge win. Unfortunately, some people are not a huge fan of the system. Usually people who benefit from the for-profit tax industry, they are a little bit concerned about basically the success of direct file. So we'll see if the program continues, but it's available this year. And so if you haven't filed your taxes yet, I encourage you to do it soon and have a look at direct file. It might be the right choice for you.
Vanessa, thank you so much for taking the time here with us today.
Thank you.